I think we're live here. We're gonna go ahead and switch over to Railroads Online. Everyone, welcome back. It's been a little while since we've been in this game, and you'll notice that things might look a little bit different. Hey, Daniel, how's it going? That's a new is abandoned. No, it's not abandoned. I'm on the dev branch right now, so some of this stuff is, I'm sure we'll run into bugs, but I think in March they have a new update coming out with like coal and other things. But Silent Knight from our community has been extremely tinkering around with the map a little bit and has made his own industrial placement. I think this is a pretty common thing to do with other people. So you'll notice that the freight depot is not here at the moment. We're here where it says freight depot, but really the freight depot I think is at the coal mine. Is this where he moved it to? Yes. So the freight depot is actually at the coal mine, to be shipped out of the map down here. And then let's see. I think the sawmill is the only thing in the same spot as always. So. Otherwise, I mean, back here at the logging camp, instead of logs, we got coal, or not coal, oil fields are down here. So definitely a little bit of a different layout. But as always, nonetheless, you do have to kind of start here. Not used to this. At the standard purchasing area. We got our Betsy. I'm seeing a lot of stuff about this game on the Discord. Looks fun. Yeah, it's a great game, like it. How's it going, General? Good to see you, as always. Oh boy, oh boy. This is the new flat car, huh? I haven't seen any of the reworked models really, like outside of like some starter Discord images and stuff a long while ago. But I am playing on realistic full settings here. So everything from pricing to weight and traction, it's all realistic right now. So I believe our logging camp's over here where our loop used to be. Yes, it is. So our logging camp is here, which means we need to get logs off of here through the pass and into the sawmill. That's going to be kind of the first route, but maybe we'll first take the rails out towards the sawmill first. I am gonna have to relearn a lot of this stuff now with the changes. There's kind of two different types of, you know, kind of like the old bridges and stuff, the new bridges. You know, there's a bigger turntable. There's a 45-degree crossover, which is pretty amazing. A little bumper. Don't quite know the differences between these 3-foot rail sections. Is this all spline? Oh lord, I don't remember how to do this at all. Oh yeah, this is all gonna be spline, isn't it? Little glitchy in terms of placement. I have to kind of wiggle the camera a little bit.
Good evening.
How's it going, General?
Not bad. So I just happened to hear your question about what the differences between the rail is there. That is the depth of the ballast. And if you don't have the ballast deep enough to touch the ground, it will not let you place the track.
Okay. So what prevents me from just using the full depth one the whole time?
Nothing.
Does it affect performance?
Nah, I normally use one, and then the only time I actually use 3 is like when I'm building up in the mountains, really.
Okay. Let's see.
And then you've got circle mode, which if you hit the, I think it's the 5 key on your numpad. I normally, it's combination thing going on there, but yeah, kind of interesting. You do the gradual curves, and then you can uncheck the box and then have it hook in, and it will ideally straighten the curve for you. Otherwise, they will give you a kink. So just FYI.
All right, well, we'll start with this. We'll get the track kind of straight out from here, and then we're gonna get a little bit of a bend towards the left, because we're gonna need to go out that way. So maybe we'll get a little bit of a bend here. Okay, so that's incline. Trying to remember the keys.
Yeah, and you can toggle the gradient. You can go after its thing. It's 1, 10, 50, and 100 increments.
I'm at 0.5 incline increments.
Well, that's for your up and down. For your left and right, it's in 1, 5, 10, 50, and 100.
Okay, so how do I change that?
Hit the numpad 5 first, and that'll give you circle mode.
Numpad 5 doesn't do anything to me. Numpad 5 doesn't do anything.
Oh, it doesn't activate circle mode? What, Oh, yours is left alt, I see.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, mine's normally 5, so... Because there should be a checkbox when you're in circle mode. Because otherwise it's more like
no, there's no
spaghetti
official
mode.
Discord yet. That's still kind of offline at the moment. Okay, so we got a little bit of a bend there. Let's get a turnout that we can hopefully connect to.
Say, when you go to circle mode, it'll make it straight, and then you can do your gradual corners and stuff, whereas the other one is just like, whatever looks good, and then it won't, like, auto-straighten stuff either. If you use a combination of circle mode, and then when you go to the end and you link it up, it'll try to remove the kinks and stuff and make gradual curves and angles and stuff for you.
Ooh, I like the fact that we can flip the track pieces around now and actually select which side we want to link from.
Yes, that works great.
That's actually really, really good.
And you notice switches have ballast now, even under the stand.
I think I saw that, yes. Yes. And it's going to try and auto-smooth in a way if I just connect two pieces of rail together, isn't it?
Yes, it should try to.
Okay. So
But
I think... Go ahead.
Say, earlier when you mentioned it, I think the sawmill's in the... So the sawmill is still in the same location, but it has been changed. We've rotated it. So it's not the same physical path it was before.
Okay.
Yeah, Silent and I were playing with that.
I didn't notice that it was rotated. No, the loading side's still on the north side though, unless you flipped it one, like kept the.
He flipped it 90, is what he did.
Hold on, I need to look at this. Because you still unload in the lake, and you still load over here.
The lake moved with the building.
Oh,
it's one
that's
asset.
why there's just foundation here randomly.
Yeah, so the concrete underneath the sawmill is a separate item, which is not movable, evidently.
Okay. I mean, that's fine. It might get covered up by some rail or something.
Yeah, that's what we were playing with that last time. Like, okay, it looks like granite, actually, so... But normally, where you're standing at right now is normally where you would unload right now.
Unload?
Yeah, into the lake, and then this is where the sawmill normally sits right here.
Oh, the lake moves with it.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
The lake rotated with it. We didn't think it did, and it did. But it left the concrete. They left the pad behind. We're just like, okay.
Well, is what it is.
The goal was that there is a nice valley off of the other side of us, to your left, or not outstroke, back in between the mountain over there where we had the original yard at before. Back here, the small yard, there is a valley you can use to take back to the other area. So you could get to it that way if you wanted to. I think the oil well's there now. I think.
I don't like the way that turned out, chat. That's a little too sharp of a junction there. This one ended up being a little bit more round.
Yes, I think you want the one that says oil well. Is that it should? Or sorry, I think logging camp is now actually oil well, is what it is. So, but yeah, we were playing with this last night a little bit, but it's very, very interesting.
Oh, that's good. Let's see if doing this helps with the weirdness of it at all. I think that's a little bit better. That's a little bit more gentle.
Yeah, you can kind of see the kinkiness of it there, a little bit of the track. It is sometimes you have to relay it 2 or 3 times to get it to smooth a little bit better.
Well, I think it's it matters. I think more about where you start and finish rather than anything. And then also kind of pre-rotating it before you connect it, I think is probably pretty important.
Yeah, that's why I said that usually I put it in circle mode and start at one end, and then when I get to the other end, I take it out of circle mode, so it only has to worry about trying to connect one end, and it doesn't have to try to smooth 3, because it'll try to smooth each end in the middle separately, and that's where things get a little jinky with it.
Now, the one thing that's weird is the maybe it's not weird. Do I have to use all 3 of these bays or no? I feel like I do.
It depends how many cars you buy at once. If you buy 6, then you need the 3rd one. Yeah.
Yeah, something that I hope they add in the future, a way to like take a segment and delete only a partial of the segment. Like a way to add like a node in the middle and then delete 1/2. Because if you're laying down like these huge sections of rail and then you lay something down and you kind of don't like it after like a little bit, and then it's kind of like harder to just replace a section of it,
Yeah, then he has not done that yet. In fact, now that you can go up to 1,500 meters or something like that, it actually is worse because you think you're deleting like a 20-foot section of rail. Next thing you know, you deleted a 1/2 mile by accident.
Okay, that's not the one I want. That's a little bit better, but still not great. You know what? I might have to relay this section too.
And one other goofy thing is the fact that switches need to be placed on level terrain. They don't do well with any kind of gradients at all.
Okay. See, chat,
because they'll either try to angle themselves weirdly or they won't place at all. So ran into that a few places around the map, on the other map, the original map that I'm almost done rebuilding.
Okay, we get that. And then...
But I will say it's definitely much better than what it used to be.
Yeah, I mean, anything's going to be a little bit better, I feel. My issue's probably going to be more in the sense of, what's it called? Trying to get a good... No, I'm trying to think of a good description of what I'm trying to do here. So like using the more static pieces, I think as good anchor points, and then letting the spline kind of do the work otherwise. And so everything's going to be kind of pre-measuring to like a junction area, and then make your splines.
Yeah, that's what I did, and that was definitely evident when I was remaking the north yard of Urco, because it was really hard to get that to like come in and corner right, just the right way we want it, and keep the spacing between the lines, because you can lay track on top of track now too by accident.
All right.
So it'll let you do it.
That's fine. You know, I definitely like games that, like, you know, it's gonna be up to me, the person laying the stuff, to kind of get things looking good and right. So, like,
yep.
I'd rather have the flexibility than too much hand holding in a lot of these things.
Like, once you understand the nuances of it, you get to going pretty good, which is, you know, how I was able to do like 85% of the previous map, get it rebuilt in like 3 to 4 weeks roughly.
This is 100% the kink thing.
Yes.
So now I kind of noticed that it doesn't do multi-segment laying anymore. Is that true?
So this is where you need to hit the left alt. This is where I prefer to use the left alt method, because then you can lay those little segments along the way, and then you can have it do the auto, like, to straighten the piece out. That's where it works better for that. If you do the what I call spaghetti mode, it'll try to do just one big piece of track, and it will squiggle as it needs to. I don't know why he doesn't turn circle mode on by default, because everyone, like, the default thing is everyone wants circle mode because you have the most control over the track, and it's off by default.
Well, circle mode is kind of like how everyone play, like, Roller Coaster Tycoon, you know? It's like segment by segment, degree by degree, you know, so I can see why everyone wants that mode. Honestly, I'm just trying to get the squiggle mode to kind of work for me here.
Yeah.
But it's probably not worth doing.
And there is a max of 30-degree curves now, which, if anyone who played the game before, when you thought you were making 30s, they were actually 60s, because the math wasn't actually mathing right.
Now, can I increase the length of the track segment?
You can just keep dragging for it and go until it stops making track come out at the other end. That's where I say, it's like, I can't remember if it's 1500 or 150, or it'll just keep going. That's why, like, the main, like, the Urko yard, I would start, I would get, like, off the switches, I would get a lead stub going for each end, and I would lay the whole switch piece of track down the middle in one shot, which is, you know, like 2/3 of the yard in one run, and that way it would tailor itself right. Because again, the least number of splines you can have, the better the performance, ideally. Right. We haven't heard otherwise yet, but with Railroad.Studio, you can actually, when you have the new splines engaged, there actually is a function to flatten splines. So if you do have too many, supposedly it can actually just, like, bake them in, and then it, you know, reduces the number of them. I haven't finished the map to try that yet, so. And the only other major wall that, you know, we've found is that there is a 10% max grade. So before, you could kind of do some stuff like, Pharma, doing the roller coasters and stuff we saw before. You can still do that stuff in a weird way, but you're limited to 10-degree, you know, up and down. If you try for a 10.1, it will not let you do it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, this is honestly not awful. I feel like, getting the curves really smooth. You know, I'm kind of, I mean, the rock trick is out the door, I guess, nowadays.
Yeah, because everything's there is no. I don't think there's actually any rocks you see anymore. I mean,
no, it's still there. It's still in the texture, right?
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's the one to the left of the. My stream's probably behind for you, but it's to the left of the G and grid. That kind of, like, longer piece of rock there. That's about the center point.
I remember you had that. I know he's got random tie rotation and placement going now. I never looked at the ground enough to tell if he did anything with the gravel or not.
I can.
And
Can I change the radiant increments?
Yeah, if you turn circle mode on.
Yeah, circle mode is on.
Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the stream. Yeah, as long as it's checked, you should be able to, looking at the...
But only, it edits by 10 meters at a time.
You can change the, so you need to change the grid. The curve radius would be E and Q. And that's where it's one... you need the grids. Yeah, E and Q, or, yeah. It should go down to 1, 10, 50, and 100. You just gotta find the right keys.
I don't know how to edit my grid. I'm sure I changed all the controls like back in the day to like make it more feasible for like.
It says Y and T as your keys, but
that's rotate construction though.
Yeah, he doesn't have it named in the it's like status menus of the greatest.
Oh, okay.
See, for me, it's all in the num keys, so that's the.
I mean, I can get it to kind of work because like. I can just do the partial of the curve and let the spline finish it off, you know?
Yeah.
And honestly, like, that's still, like, a smoother circle than what we could have really done.
Oh, yeah. There's been a few times I need to take it down to the one grid and do a few things, but it's so much better than what it was before.
Alright, let's move this guy over here.
And I was going to say earlier that the new gallows turntable, so much better than that first turntable.
I mean, yeah, definitely for the bigger trains.
It just rotates better too. They need to rework the original model for the other one. It didn't get they fixed the end pieces so you can snap to it, but it never got fully reworked.
You know, like everyone that I ever watched play this game play it in like the UI mode, and I just like, if I play this game in the UI mode, I'd rather just go play something else. You know, like there's better games that do this better.
Yeah, it depends on what I'm doing. I usually will try to run in the cab, but if I'm running like a big heavy train, I need to watch the cars better. I'll switch to UI mode just to get through like the mountain passes and stuff. So
yeah. Alright, so we're gonna have a single in and out with a couple switches. That's easy. Is spring switches in yet?
Yes, they will auto throw based on where you're. So like if the switch
as long as you're going through the Y, right?
Yes.
Basically, yes. Okay, so these will auto throw as long as I'm exiting.
Yes, as long as you're exiting, that's correct.
Yeah. Okay, good to know. I guess I don't need a main line in this area anymore. That's weird to think about.
Yeah. You really won't have a main line. I mean, because how Silence got this set up, like technically all of the lines between the industries to the next industry will technically be main line. It'll be either straight, like a single track with passing lanes. It won't be like what we did on the previous Urco map, because it's just.
Oh, I can get it like that.
Well, yeah.
Don't tempt me. That's dangerous.
He went for full narrow gauge on this thing, literally.
Okay. Well, we'll have to see if people enjoy it and how it works out. So, I have to get up to the sawmill first. Has this little arrow always been here? That tells me which way I'm facing? If not, I'm glad it's here now.
Yeah, that arrow is new. That it was added for your status, along with the telegraph offices in the same update. And if there's any other players on the map, it'll actually tell you where they're at too.
There we go, 0. Oh my lord, we actually have to have a straight track that we can just lay out. Because like what I can do with the straight track is I can like pre-lay this out and then like get a switch out here and then just edit it. Yeah, that's pretty good. right, let's get this because why not? We'll do a little bit of a main line out to this way, and then if we need to change, then we'll change as needed. Also, chat, I don't know how long we are gonna do like Railroads Online right before the update. Obviously, the update comes out in March, where they add coal and stuff. So, you know, because of that, you know, we're probably not gonna do anything too crazy with this first look at Silence kind of replacement of the industries.
Yeah, Silent was pretty pleased with this map work, and it looks really good, I'll say that. Definitely more interesting.
Well, when the first one was interesting, especially like when we first started, we didn't know what was going on, you know. But after how many hours? How many hours do I have in this game? 270? After 270 hours in that one save? Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna try and lay down a few smaller sections in case things like need somewhat of adjusting. Let's see.
Yeah, I've got 166. I know you have more than me, and that includes all of my rebuild time in it too.
Love how my radius buttons are backwards because apparently he switched which direction is really which. That's a little interesting. All right, chat. So we'll get this run out here.
You'll probably have to reset your controls too, because I don't think we were playing, or we hadn't gotten to the point where we were completely. I think we were finishing when he was when he started adding in the new unload sequences that take extra buttons to unload the cars and stuff too.
Yeah, that wasn't in the game. The last time like we properly played Railroads Online was when we they were just now talking about like the new spots.
Yeah.
And like the first show off of that.
Yep. And the stream before that was the big all hands on deck. It's Iron Wolf in the front engine, and we're doing the big loop.
Oh, Iron Wolf, dude. That man. He's gonna have a heart attack after trying to drive that train.
He's got his own engine now, and then the save, I changed one of its names, and it's the Iron Wolf. It's only fitting he gets one.
That makes sense. Alright, so Betsy should be warmed up. We'll take her out this line a little bit. Ah, yes. The million trees that I have to cut down again. Does it still cost money? Cut down trees?
No. So they were supposed to. Did it cost money before? I think that was.
I mean, when it first came out, it did, yeah.
Okay, he undid that, that's right, and they've not put that back yet. I do know they fixed where you can join people's companies and you do, like, everyone
Share
gets
money.
Yeah, the money is together. I believe experience is somewhere along that way too, but then again, I haven't really been playing with other people, just rebuilding, so I'm not sure if that is actually working or not yet.
No problem. No, I'm not taking a look at the new engines yet. Actually, yeah, let's take a look at the new engines. I mean, I haven't even really seen all the new rework on some of the wagons, right? Because they changed kind of a lot of them.
Yeah, they reworked everything. Like the
black car,
like the caboose was in there because we had those. Now they all have different colors of them. They added a way car, which is the first generation caboose.
Yeah, you can have paint of these. That's awesome.
Yes, all of the cars can be repainted, painted. They have not added the repaint function yet.
And it's only these new ones that have this new chassis, this hopper car. I'm assuming it's still the old one that they're trying to figure out how to rework or model a new one.
Most of them, if like the tank car, you notice you can change like the
frame.
You'll be able to change the frame, yeah, not the actual tank itself yet. And then a lot of the engines have options too, with all the different stuff there.
So what's a way car?
The way car was the first generation caboose. Literally, it was just a crew car. It did not have a cupola on it.
Okay, so it's a small boy caboose.
Yeah, it was the first,
like
first generation of it.
Ooh, I like how the snowplow changes material type for the plow.
Yes.
Okay, note to self, handcart's probably still borked. Let's see, we got Porter, the tier 2 Porter, the little upgraded guy. What is this? This is a 060? Yeah, it's an 060. Not a huge fan of this paint scheme. It's probably historical, obviously. Montezuma. Montezuma's like a mini Eureka?
Yeah, it was the first generation before the Eureka. It also is... It used to pull like 2 passenger cars. When you get over like 3 or more, or anything over like 1% grade, it can't do it.
Oh, I like the Glenbrook.
That actually still is a real live engine still. The Eureka and the Glenbrook do actually live tourist excursions today still.
Gotta have my climax again. Good old Heisler. Now, did Heisler get reworked too, or did they just paint the bumpers?
They actually backdated it. It's actually an earlier version now. I guess like the previous model was
year-wise, or
yeah, newer. Yeah, they took it back in years because I think they modeled off there's a surviving Heisler somewhere in the southwest of the country, and so they made it more like what it was supposed to be back then versus what it looks like today.
Got the Fox's Shay finally got in here, you know.
Yes.
This thing is just barely off the track. just enough clearance, you know, for the firebox.
Yeah, the whole like 5 cars up at like a 5% grade or something like that. It's pretty good. I mean, it's slow as hell, but it's still pretty nice.
Moscow's a better Eureka?
Moscow.
Coke 260?
Yes.
Ooh, I like the new Coke. Or Kook. Is it Kook or Coke?
Oh, a Coke. It's a Cook, actually.
Cook.
Yeah, the 280. So yeah, because the 260 is a cookie. The 280 is a Connie, for its wheel arrangement. But yeah, that's actually my new favorite engine is the 280 Cook.
And I love 260 what we had before.
The 260 is what we had before.
Okay, it just has a little bit of a different coloration on it.
It hasn't been fully remodeled yet either.
Okay.
This is the remake that was after Peyton, and they have not, and then they lost the new model, so they're remaking another one for it.
Can the handcar finally be used to transport firewood? I don't know. Probably not.
But for the 280, look at the green color scheme on it. That is really sweet.
We'll look as soon as I get this thing back out there. All right. Oh, Betsy. This has the new chuff thing as well, right?
Yes. Everything but the Glenbrook. All the engines have it. The Glenbrook is off. It's supposed to be four chuffs per revolution, and that one, for some reason, it's broken and only does 3.
clear this stuff out.
And not that you're going to get to that tonight or anything, but you do have to worry about train car speed, because right now we still have, there is an 18-mile-an-hour speed limit, a 22, and a 25. The Glenbrook can do 25 for the engine, but the tender can only do 22. So it likes to throw its tender off the track if you go too fast.
Okay, noted.
And a lot of the other engines they're still being worked on. There's not like everything didn't get updated with the speeds. It was hit and miss on certain things. So so pretty much you start getting around 20 miles an hour, you just kind of like just go with that, because otherwise things get very spicy road pretty quick.
Alright, so we'll go this way out to the sawmill. I'll probably do the same turn that we had last time, chat. I do wish we could have... Wait, you said the lake moves with the sawmill?
Yeah, the lake moved with a sawmill.
I kind of wish we could put that up here. You know what I mean? Like, just a little bit more tucked up in here.
Yeah,
Or move the sawmill like attached to the water would have made sense too.
Yeah, 1 second.
All right, chat. So how you guys doing? You all excited for a little bit more Railroads Online here from us? Like a 2% grade. Come on. Where's the... How do you connect? How am I supposed to... Oh. Oh, come on. Oh. There we go. Okay. This is not letting me place. I'm using the wrong rail type, maybe? Let's try number 2. Speed limit, the programming function, or result of game physics. I feel like it's the result of game physics and a little bit of programming in a way. Can't wait till next Friday on the co-update. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, I think. Okay, yeah, let's go there. Then we're gonna set this to flat. Oh, let's finish that off here, because I'm sure we're gonna need some more segments to work with in a moment. I don't know how much we'll get done today. I know at the very least, chat, I want to be able to get logs to the lumber mill as a test. I think that'll be a good thing to shoot for initially. I've never seen such a straight piece of track in this game. Also, where's Betsy at? She on the curve? No, past the curve. Dang, that's a lot of track out there already. I mean, honestly, I kind of do miss the whole let's lay down ballast and then let's lay down track on top of ballast. I kind of miss that, personally. So how's the stream sounding, chat? And video and stuff? Everything sounding normal? You guys getting comfy over there? Actually, let's try and get some
be the Friday that won't end.
chuffed noises here. And chuff.
I did see a question in the chat from Daniel. I don't know if you covered that or not, Uthris, about the speed limit program.
I'm pretty sure it's physics-based, or a combination of the two.
He's got hard-coded... He did hard-code the max speed limit, but the speeds are affected by physics, so it's a combination of both.
I still wish our character was just a little bit shorter.
Yeah, I have not heard of anything if he's... I mean, because he bought the model from a store, so...
Yeah.
I don't know if they've made any plans or again to fix that or not, or add the new character skins or what, but...
Well, the thing is, like, while you're in first person, the camera is... You can't see your body anyway, so I could be controlling a giant for all I know.
Yep.
Choo-choo!
Yeah, I'm not sure how blah, 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 blah. I don't know how tall John Railroadson is actually supposed to be, but we do know from on Heiss's channel, Brett, one of his buddies from the museum, is like 6'7", and like he looks directly in the headlight of like the Eureka, so that tells you how how small those engines were.
Yeah. Well, like, we have a crouch, but I almost wish... You know how, like, certain first-person shooter games, the crouch button is almost like... a range? So you can, like, crouch and then mouse wheel or something, and you'll kind of, like, go up and down a little bit. Kind of wish that was a thing. That'd be a good way to do it.
Yeah, well, even on the engines that the Heist and the guys work on, like... A lot of times, like the Class 70, they just sat on the windowsill because they put a little pad down because they're too tall for the cab. So, like, even to be able to sit in the windowsill would be nice. That would help too.
All right, chat. Let's see if we can't get a curve here, and then we'll come back and lay it in segments so that we can get our offshoots where we want them. Yeah, I think that's gonna be good. So let's come back a little bit, and we'll try and lay this in like 4 or 3 pieces or something like that, just so we have some segments that are viable. think that tree's in my way. Let's stop that here. Come on. How's the map look? Did you do good so far? I mean, you know, I haven't connected any industries yet, and I'm working on getting out of the depot area over everything. Let's see how this goes. Let's take it back to about there. But it is definitely an interesting prospect, you know, to have these in different areas. Well, I have to be able to get trained to the logging place first, don't I? So I'm taking the freight depot up around to the area. Did they fix the multiplayer derailing thing yet? Or re-railing?
I think they did. I have not fully tested it yet.
I think I saw someone streaming today, and they were playing multiplayer, and they had another person on there re-railing. So I think it's fixed, but I didn't like visually confirm.
I think it depends on who's doing the re-railing. It didn't always happen, but I think that is definitely something that we'll need to test. And then they haven't fixed the popcorning, but it is better than what it was. So progress, at least.
Yeah, progress is progress. Two routes for logging camp towards old smelter location, or over mountain towards old freight depot. So you're talking about like just straight up go this way to it? I mean, I'm doing the old route just because it's easier and familiar for me, and I feel like, yeah. But I don't want to do like a big bridge here or anything. What I want to do is to kind of zigzag down into this valley, go down towards the smelter, and then back around. Or where the old smelter position was. Toot toot. Okay, so the question is, if I were to try and get some junctions here, how would that work? So I can junction here. Should mean I relay that section, but that's not too bad to do. And then what way are we facing like this? We're facing far to the right is where we need to go. I mean, am I gonna have to dual track this again? No. What's over here? It's tough to say. I can stay on the line. This will take me to the opposite track, which is honestly bent the wrong way. Oh, now that I can flip these, honestly, this is actually not going to be too bad. I just need to find the right track piece that I want to adhere to it. I think something like that. Yeah, that's honestly pretty good for a crossover. That only covers a single direction, though. So we will need another set. Essentially like that. And that, right? So I just need to connect these up here. I think so. Yeah. So weird to have such a straight piece. Oh, I hope everyone's super excited for my dumb junctions. Four-man diamond junction? Kind of. I'm gonna mainline this eventually, so it's gonna be a dual track. But only the left track here is gonna loop out that way, so I needed a way for oncoming to come hop this onto this rail. I guess, do I need... it'll be better if I do it this way.
I just wish we had smaller switches.
Yeah, like a dynamic switch would be kind of nice. That you could like change the length on and stuff, and the cross angle.
Yeah.
Okay, that means this is gonna go. Gonna have to go all the way back. Ugh. Oh man, these massive pieces, man. I'm playing by myself right now. I mean, in general, did you want to hop on the server, I guess? But, like, there's nothing to do.
Yeah. I'm just watching for now. It's just, and watching between the stream and here, because I'm not catching all your audio either, I noticed.
The stream's not catching all my audio?
The stream is catching your audio, but I only catch you, like, if you hit push, I guess push to talk for here.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I use push to talk, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but you're talking through but you're coming through on the stream though, is what I'm saying, but not through here sometimes.
Oh, well.
Weird.
It's funny how like just a 10-meter radius adds up over time.
Oh yeah. You can get some pretty crazy curves and stuff, and how big did you need, unless you want to bring it in more or out, it's like good grief.
There's all that. Do I have any money?
Yeah, to Daniel's comment, that actually was what was being promoted in the Spline 2.0 update, which ended up being rolled back to 1.5, which is what we're on now, because it just was having so many glitches and stuff. But you used to be able to drag and drop tracks, and it would create switches or crossovers or anything like that as needed to. It just really sucked for running trains. So.
Push for the
for Roger, I don't think they changed the download stuff. I mean, that was a Steam setting and something with it, so I don't think it was changed. But I know the multiplayer server settings. Qumi went with the default for Unreal, which is like max of 16 people, things like that. And if he wanted to change it, he has to rewrite the code from scratch.
You know way too much about this game.
Yeah,
You're just a fly on the wall.
Yeah, it's because I'm a member of the different Discords, and I watch everyone's stuff, and of course it's trains, and so I'm a sponge.
Alright, so
I learned something new today from Heise's new video with Khan, that I guess there is a section of map that you can see where the trees, I guess Qumi coded the trees because it's only one tree. All of these are just equal one tree. It just does a render code, or a render copy. So there's one physical tree that's just multiplied across the map, but he did it in 4 different quadrants. And I guess you could actually find there is a break between the north, south, east, and west. So it actually forms a cross on the map somewhere in the trees. And they actually spotted part of the cross today in their video. They're like, ooh, so should we put something special at the crossover point, you know? But I didn't know that, but Heist was explaining how that worked and how they actually thought it was, when they first were testing the code and stuff for the game, they thought the popcorning was from the trees, and Kumi actually showed them all the code, and so literally, the code runs as one tree. It's the most... Heist was like, this is the most efficient code he's ever seen, and it was crazy how that he can do that for a tree, but then we have all these other bugs.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on what you're used to working with and stuff, because he may be more into like the stationary assets versus the other stuff. So, but it was neat to learn some stuff that hadn't been shared since, you know, or we hadn't heard, and it's been what, a year and a half now. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of times video games, they have like a master tree, and so like
Yep.
these are just clones of the same tree, and then if you destroy the master tree, all the clones disappear.
Evidently, that was the thing in the very early days, where if you... It wasn't that it was a master... They had a master tree, but they also had a thing that he had it set to a max number. If you cut more than 2,000 trees, it would reset the quadrant. So, like, 1/4 of your map would just instantly regrow the trees again.
Mm.
So that was an early bug before it came out in early access, evidently. That I learned about today is too from that stream, so... Like, well, thank goodness we don't have that anymore. And we did learn that the new trees they introduced in winter... I can't remember if it was winter or fall. We got a new tree this year. They do not... They're bigger. So, like, if you think you've got everything clear-cut here fine, there's a good chance you're going to have a tree right on your rails or close to the rails when it changes season. So...
But it's invisible, or like,
no,
as in like I left that tree there and now it's a bigger tree?
It's like, hey, this tree was fine, and now it's a bigger tree, and so now you can actually clip it with the engine and stuff, so it's sometimes an issue. I mean, we won't see that again for, you know, another season or two, but still, it's something that, it's one of those gotchas when you think you're fine, and then you just go driving, and then oops.
Alright, let's do the other crossover here.
I think I found one or two of those that way, the hard way earlier, too.
Derailing's the fun way to find things, alright?
Yeah.
Okay, so for this one...
Yeah, it was pretty good, Roger, and he hates switchbacks, so, you know, that was pretty funny.
Do that. Yeah, this is the sawmill entrance from this angle. So I'm doing what we kind of did last time, Silent, right? Like, you can get up to the sawmill by coming up this way and around, and also this way and around.
No updates on cab controls or anything either that we know of, other than now that we don't have the one Discord, it's, you know, we don't have any direct tie to the programming, but nobody has been able to, like, make that fixed or anything yet, so. I know it was complained about numerous times, but I don't think that's going to happen for a bit, but you never know.
Is that right? I noticed it looked weird, and I found your obvious attempt at moving it with like the foundation being still in the same spot. Alright, and then we need this guy. Boom. that. Turn off. I'm going to go have a good area for looping considering how much throughput it needs. I was going to build it to where it's more shunting. Because I'm an asshole. Okay, that ain't bad. Let's test some of these crossovers real quick, chat. See how readable they are. I'm assuming you can still kind of cheese the wood by just spawning in a log depot near you.
Yeah, you can. You won't be able to do that with coal towers, though, because I believe they're going to spawn empty.
That'll be cool.
Or at least they tell you you have to fill it by bringing coal hoppers to the coal tipples, and then you have to refill them that way. I'm actually pretty interested to see how the shovel's going to work.
Oh, you know what's kind of nice about doing a diamond crossover now is since I can actually get the Ys to kind of just look at each other, as long as I'm going through the first junctions, the flag and speed, whatever, we have to switch less flags.
Yes.
Essentially, right? So.
It definitely helped on the Urco 1.0 map because we just had so many switches. And even though I tried to clean it up a little bit where I could, I still need RROX running just to validate because there's so many flags close together.
Yeah, like these ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am liking how smooth this rail's looking.
Yeah, as long as they don't go down kinky or anything, they are very smooth and it just feels right.
Okay. That looks pretty good, chat. Let's, I'll worry about connecting this up, I think, after getting down there figured out. So let's just go ahead and switch this, get this back on the northbound lane. One problem is just these hitboxes for these signals are, I feel, worse.
Yeah.
Especially since nothing is getting highlighted as much as it used to.
Yeah, I think a lot of the highlight stuff is actually gone now, too.
Nothing wrong with some kinky. Oh, it's Wolf! How's it going, dude? Honestly, I'm kind of excited for like slower train.
Yeah, I don't really fly too fast through on stuff anymore.
Like, eating's cool and all, but like, just having a good route.
Like, I was doing about 18 to 20 with about 6 hoppers from the iron ore mine the other day with the 280 cook.
How do you know your mile per hour?
RROX.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I wouldn't want to go any faster, but it felt good because everything was, all the corners were good and everything just felt and flowed perfect. I'm like, 20 is about right.
Alright, so this is our, hey, we're going to the sawmill line. How are we going to handle this, chat? How are we going to handle the logs being here? Also, it's really weird being at, like, the loop area without a loop here. Yeah, Silent Wolf, you went ahead and moved all the industries around, so we're giving it a test here today. Trying to get just like a line down. So the lumber camp's over here right now.
We cut down so many for like the yards and stuff.
Yeah, all the trees. And you finished relaying all the track on our map?
So I've got us down to the Y, and into the Y that goes to the refinery, the ironworks, and the oil. I gotta do that, and I have to do the secondary coal line.
But otherwise, that's it.
It's done.
Dang.
Yep.
Hats off to you for doing that, because I wasn't gonna do it.
I got bored, and like I said, I got divorced, and just, it's like, couldn't do much, because no money and stuff, so I was like, I'm gonna relay track, and that's what it did.
Things happened, therefore, trains.
It was a good stress reliever, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Turn on a good book on tape or something.
Just put some music on, and just let it play in the background, and I was just going to town. And I've run enough trains that I was able to buy us one of every engine, pretty much one of every engine, and we have 2 of the Connie 280s now. So.
Good habit would be putting the 90-degree crossing between junction as a spacer.
And I love the bumpers. Even
Oh,
though
you're
they're
talking
not
about
technically,
like for the doubles.
used in narrow gauge in the 1800s and stuff, but still, they're so nice.
Let's try the new bridge with what's the DR and G bridge look like? That looks okay. I remember when these new bridges came out, looking at them.
Yeah, they're really nice. And for those who aren't familiar with what I was doing with the other map, I actually converted over the new splines and stuff for the most part, but it's within a couple degrees or feet of the original map, and so it's got the same Urco feel to it, and then I left a lot of the like Uthris's original bridges across this valley here are still there as a tribute. So like I tried to leave the tributes alone where I could. But yeah, I really like the new bridges. They're very nice.
Log Camp Mountain Route, 10% gray climax only. No, Shay only.
Yeah, thanks,
Also,
Roger. At some
that
point, I know
change?
we're going to do a walkthrough with Uthris on the map and see all the stuff, and then at some point we'll probably open up that map for some community members again. Just haven't had the time.
Uh-oh. There we go. Yeah, as we get like more re-involved into Railroads Online again, I have a feeling we'll be doing things.
Yep. So I just noticed on the stream that you'd found one of the bugs that I really wish they'll fix. So if you build the first section with a color and then you click, if you don't go back to the build menu and select the bridge and the color you want again, it just defaults it to the bare lumber. And I'm like, that's really annoying when you're doing segments.
So I have to click the same one again, like do the drop down every single time.
In essence, you have to build each section because you have to select your color. Otherwise, it will just default it for you.
Okay.
Yeah, that I would always forget halfway through a bridge. I'm like, oh god, and then go back and have to redo it.
General loves trains more than Uthris? I hope so. How about, like, with these new bridges and the railings and stuff, how does that interfere with laying dual tracks out? 'Cause I have a feeling it interferes quite a lot.
So you can't, like, be right next to each other. So, like, we had the main line with the bridge, with the tributes and stuff. I had to split the rails about 5 feet apart. So there is a gap between them. But then if you build the other direction with the other line, you can get it to where you have the railings flip-flop. So it goes railing, track, gap, rail, track and then railing, sorry. To use the right words there. So it does look pretty good, but you have to have a space between them because you can't really overlap them. The greatest that I've found, but I've seen other people do things too that, look better than what I did, but at least that's what I've been doing.
Well, I wonder if I can essentially lay down the bridge using other pieces, then come back in, delete the other pieces, lay down a single piece of bridge from both directions, right?
Yep,
that way
possibly.
It's a little bit easier. So, like, for example, this railing is on the left-hand side. If I were to... I'll test that real quick. Let me just see. It's making you want to reinstall and come back. Hey, you're always welcome back.
Yeah, like Roger was saying, it's always on your left. But then if you know the trick that you want dual tracks or you want something on both sides, you can just drag the track, come back the other direction and
yeah.
So
as long as you get the footers down on each side,
yep.
I have a feeling that that's all I need, and then hopefully just the The squiggly spline place will be enough. Soats
Mhm.
is your favorite of the new ones? Well, we'll try Creosote. See how that guy looks, you know. I guess we can do that for you. So. Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, Silent's not a big fan of the DNRGW.
It's the same as Creosote, just with a white railing.
Yeah, he didn't like the white railing. I remember from your video on this because I actually, so when you lay this stuff in there in the winter, you get snow on the bridge, so it mutes the colors. So I had to go back and use your video of the colors of the bridges to figure out which one that looked best for where I was building. I used all the colors in different places around the map.
Okay.
So it is neat though. You get snow on the walkways and stuff. It just makes it a real pain to tell what color they are because it makes it like a very very like a tan instead of a brown. So.
Mm-hmm. Part of the issue here, Chad, is just like our starting point is so much wider that like the arc is gonna be naturally meh about that, but I'm gonna fix that here. I'm gonna delete this bridge segment. I'm gonna do a quick parallel track to this stone segment, and that's just gonna be easier to deal with. There. That's a little bit tighter. So that doesn't look too bad. So like this general?
Yeah, that's
You can probably get it a lot closer too. Honestly, you could probably bump it up to where even the wood is touching.
yeah. I've got about a 2 or 3 foot gap between them on the other one, but yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, it looks pretty good still. Yeah, I mean that's.
Yeah,
No issues
just
there.
mind the gap, you know? Very British, just mind the gap.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. No one will ever derail and crash into that valley. How do I check my funds?
That is. So it's not tab. Is it escape, or is it? Oh, good grief.
E.
E, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I'm just making sure that it wasn't taking making sure it wasn't dipping my money down, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, we know what you're talking about, Daniel. I mean, you know, most transport games have that snap, whether it's City Skylines, whether it's Transport Fever, whether it's other ones, right? I mean, it's a pretty common feature, but those games have the advantage of having like a floating camera where you're above everything. Oh, it's only 10 minutes late today, dude. Dude, you're like making time.
Good old Silent. You know, his bus and his donuts.
Donuts and buses, man. What a guy. What a guy. Oh no. I just laying down a bunch of track and then just accidentally hit right click.
Oh.
Roger, switch those keybinds around. That makes sense. I hope that eventually when you're going over bridges, it changes kind of like the audio a little bit.
Yeah, give it some different. I mean, I wish we get some more clicky clacks and stuff like that when you go crossovers, which we don't today, but we also need better whistles.
I mean, at least we got some better whistles.
Well, they're all. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's a few different ones. Like the 48's got a nice beefy one. I really wish there was a better
Climax
one.
and
The
Heisler
Heisler
have different ones, though, right?
Climax still has his original. The Heisler has the five chime monster that he put on there, which I'm not a fan of because like there's 5 chimes on Cass, and I'm like they don't sound that bad. Maybe I don't know if it's just my ears or what, but it doesn't sound good to me. And the Heisler used to be my favorite engine on the game, and I'm like, not anymore. But the 280 Cook and then the 48, that little tank engine is literally, it is a beefy little monster.
The question's gonna become, with all the traffic that goes through the lumber mill, do I want to dual track the entry and exit points? I don't know.
That depends on if you're going to have any staging tracks and stuff, you know, because if you have staging tracks, you don't need it, you know, dual tracked everywhere.
Right.
Because you just have your shunting engine do your work, but because it depends on your mentality there.
I think for now I'm not gonna worry about it because you know we don't have like 10 people trying to run trains.
Exactly.
So it's just better if I
Maybe give yourself a siding or something like that, and then you can always expand it later.
yeah. Oh God, I'm going the old route. I'm going way too wide. Oh, that's so weird. It's messing with my mind. Have building the long, easy routes only. You know what? Silent keeps talking smack. He's not going to be allowed to play until I have, like, all the rail laid down. Also, what's with this? Why is there a rail here? Oh, it's for the cargo.
I will say it is pretty interesting in the mountain passes, but I think everybody will have their work cut out for them no matter what they do. Oh, and we have the auto-loading cranes now, too.
What?
So it's no longer Crane Simulator. You click on the crane once for the car, and as long as it has stuff in your position right, it'll swing over, drop the load, swing back, grab the next one, and go. Same speed as before, but you're not clicking your mouse 20 times. I was having to see on the stream, you walk by one of the cranes, like, oh yeah, that's right, that's the thing. Now the tipples don't work; they still work like they always did.
How do I want this to work, chat? Oh wait, hold on. Let's try this whole trick. Put a little crossover boy before doing the next turnout. Actually, what might be cool with this setup is have this as a yard. Never mind, it's the very south end of the map. Yep. I didn't teleport everywhere. I want this to work. Let's just pull forward another 30 meters or so. All the trial and error. Let's cover up the water a little bit there, and then... go for the yard look here. So after each junction, I want probably 60 meters out of the yard. That way every branch is the same distance for parking. We don't have any of those weird, really long ones versus really short ones. I'm happy there's bumpers too.
Yes, the bumpers are so nice.
Does it spawn with ballast under it or no?
No, it actually the rear of it sticks up, but then what you can do is grab the rock wall and select it without rail and lay it underneath there. It gets a little crazy at times, but it does look nice when it's done.
Man, why does it feel like I'm listening to open Transport Tycoon music right now?
You're listening to the new game music, right?
I guess. I mean, it's a little different.
Yeah, he ripped Heiss's music out of it, and so he didn't want it in the game anymore, and then Heiss contacted him and said, "Please, can you take it off the store too?" And he's like, "I'm already working on that type thing." So, I believe Heiss's soundtrack I know he's got it like on all the different like Spotify and all that stuff. I believe it's free. I don't remember.
I don't. That just seems sad to me. I'm pretty petty.
Yeah.
Like, Heist is literally one of the main reasons this game is as popular as it is.
Well, yeah, and exactly that, and how like realistic it is. I mean, him and Armagon worked their butts off to make sure everything is prototypical and stuff. And
I care less about that and just more like, hey, I did this thing, like, in terms of like music for the game, passionate about the game, like, I mean, was he using the music for freezies or something? And now he just didn't want to pay licensing? Because that'd be somewhat understandable, but like...
he got the music for the game for free, if I remember right, but then since they offered the soundtrack separately, Heiss got a percentage of the commission from that, minus after what Steam takes out for the sale and stuff. I mean, there was a lot of petty stuff going on, because at one point he was like, he banned a couple of the guys from the Steam or not Steam Discord, but the Steam discussions and stuff. That, like, Clown is a good example. Like, he made all these tutorials about how to do all this stuff, completely banned because he made those tutorials now because he left when everybody else left.
So weird.
And he didn't do anything, If anything, it was more like, Pharma's the one who released all the YouTube videos of all the weird jinky stuff going on in the game, because he was beta testing it. But it was more like scorched earth. If you left with that group, You got nailed pretty hard, so.
Alright. Pretty sad.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna harp on people too much because, frankly, I don't have the patience for drama. So.
Yeah, exactly. It's like what's in the past is in the past. Let's just take it forward, and hopefully we still have a great game in the end.
Yeah, hopefully. Alright, chat, we're gonna take this straight out to here. What part are we at, even?
For back to Roger's question about the test branch, I mean, there's just the beta branch, which currently is the beta and the main branch are the same at the moment. I don't know if they're going to do anything again when they split off with the new patch. Probably not. But they still have both branches, but they're just keeping them updated together at this point.
Curious what happened with the fox? I think Kitsune is still around.
And Kabuki went off on his own too. I haven't heard anything out of him for a while.
I mean, when the trailer dropped, he pinged me on Twitter.
Yeah. He had posted some stuff on Reddit, and then he later, because he was given some behind the scenes of what happened, he was one of the contractors and stuff, and then a day or two after that, he deleted everything because those comments were all just gone. So I think there's still some drama in the background somewhere.
I'm sure.
But we do know, based on the latest update, we're getting a couple engines. I believe the earlier post said 5. The new post didn't say exactly how many. We are getting the coal tipple and another tower of some sort, because it said there'd be at least 2 towers coming in this update.
Yeah,
we get the
tipple.
The shovel is coming in, and we're getting at least a new car as well. So I don't know if that's going to be... I mean, we were teased a cattle car, but I don't see a need for a cattle car yet.
Yeah. Don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either, so we'll see. But a week from today, pretty much, is when we should have all that stuff, so...
I just finally got my paperwork on the house that's just like, hey, you're ready for close.
That's a good sign.
Yep.
And once you close, all that stress should bleed off, because I know I just went through the opposite of that on the 22nd,
well,
saying, hey!
I'm just happy that that form had the actual kind of final estimate.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
What my monthly payment's going to be, what's going into escrow, and all that stuff, and what I'm going to owe at close, and now it's up to the lawyer to do lawyery things.
Yep. I know I came home, 2 or 3 hours after finishing closing, and I sat down in my office chair and was getting ready to go back to work, and I'm like, man, I feel so much better after the house is gone.
Good. I'm glad, dude. Can I...
Interesting. Class 48 with coal. Yeah, I don't know. I do know from some between Facebook and Reddit and other groups like that, that the Evidently, the shovel and the coal tipples are already in the current patch. They're just not activated. And there's a way to use some of the Unreal like add-ons and stuff to actually, activate them on startup. I don't think
I
they're
feel like that's a
completely
pretty
ready.
common thing. You know, like
Yeah.
assets get kind of partial baked early, and yeah, people that data mine though, I don't. Man, people that data mine games just annoy the crap out of me. Like there's someone like data mining a bunch of stuff in Dark and Darker. It's like, look at all these new mobs that might be that are in the game files. I'm just like, wow, okay, way to ruin the moment when I run into it in the actual dungeon. Like, I think the thing that started that was just MMOs. Like,
Yeah.
everything became data mined. Let's look at the back end numbers. Let's min max everything. And then ever since that became a thing, it's just like, okay, well, video games are a little less special now.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, I know with the tool the guy used, I'm like, I could go put that on here, but I'm like, I think I just want to wait, because even if I go try it now, it could be buggy and stuff like that. It's gonna make me not want to use it. Like, no, I'm gonna wait for the finest thing.
Alright, chat, let's try this. See if we get lucky with this spline.
We all know if there's anything wrong with the game or with the track that we're laying right now, it's all Silent's fault. That's all good.
Well, yeah. Thought that was a given.
It's got to put it out there, disclaimer,
Little wonky. Emulators, true. But I feel like it was way more niche back then. It was like a very specific crowd, but like as soon as like you could data mine it in a competitive game, oh boy, gloves are off. Because everyone just wants to stomp everyone else.
This is all the kink that when you laid the last in that curved track. I'm like, yep,
Shut
there
up,
we go.
Leave me alone.
Hey, you know how many times that bit me? Like, at least once an hour. It's like, I laid 3 other curves perfectly fine. The 4th one? Let's just throw a kink in here for no reason.
I mean, I don't know why it's doing it. If I, pretty sure if I do that, it should mostly straighten that out. The problem with, like, the fact that you're trying to match our already laid track means you also have to kind of match our pre-laid foundation in a way.
I relayed the foundation and stuff too, and
yeah, and you have to try to capture the original essence of it, which, you know, I don't have to worry about with this because I'm like, oh, this is a new track.
Yep, I had to do it justice. It has to be Urco, qualified.
Little Urco rails. Emailing me, we're doing a migration, a data center migrations.
That's always fun. And my networking team is doing some work tonight, and I'm like, yay, they're going to fix an issue because it's an intermediate SAN issue. I'm like, yeah, go fix that for me because, it's really annoying whenever iSCSI servers just fall off the network. People get mad at the storage team, and it's not my fault, so oops.
Okay, cool. I love looking at my phone and it's like an hour ago. You have a message on Teams. I'm like, oh no. What is it? It's like, oh, hey, someone has an issue. An actual issue. Okay, well, that's an hour old now.
Oops.
And luckily they didn't just message me, they actually messaged the group, and so they ended up figuring it out, but like, well, you know, technically I'm supposed to be uncle.
Yeah, I like to, like, people will send me, notes because they're like, oh, they're used to my old job. I was used to be a team lead. And like, yeah, I'm an architect now. Like, I'm like 2 levels above where I was before. Like, there's a whole team for that now, guys. Here, use this DL, CC me. I'll make sure they get it done. But yeah, I won't be doing the change ticket myself. I'm sorry.
But the thing is too, like, people will always reach out to the people that actually respond. And so like, if they're used to you responding, you're the guy now, and that's all you do.
Yep, deal with that all the time.
And the funny thing is, I am the guy. There is no one else.
Well, the guy who was doing the job, he took over for me. He ended up moving to another account. So my offshore team lead is taking over that role. So they've really had a lot of turmoil. So I'm like, I get it. You don't know who to email, but still. We have a giant group email that's monitored 24/7. This will get you faster because I'm 8 to 5 Central Time, guys. And if I feel like checking my email randomly on the weekend, I will. But most likely I try to do the 40 hours now.
I respect the 40 hours.
I mean, I'm usually it's 45 to 50, but the whole work-life balance thing. For the whole divorce and everything, I learned that I cannot burn myself into the ground. So yeah.
You can't? That's.
I mean, I can, but it won't be good for anybody else.
I mean, it'd be good for them, not for you.
Well, I get very cranky, so it's not good for them either.
This turnout is so sharp. It's literally the sharpest turnout you can go. So
you're going yard speed. It's walking speed. It's fine. So I only got donuts. Grabbed a bus. Now he's grabbing snacks. I'm giving you.
Isn't the donut the snacks? Like, what is a donut to that man?
Well, it's the first time I've heard him talk about donuts. Usually it's like mac and cheese or a pizza or something, so
Yeah, Silence not the healthiest eater we got in our community.
Oh, I'm not either.
Shoot, this is wrong still. Need a offshoot this way. Alright, again, let's just get the log side up and running, chat. We don't need to worry about 3 chains of services later. You know what I might try and do, and when we like officially play this again.
Yep.
Actually use crossovers more, like just non-junction stuff.
Yeah, I've not tested the new 45, but evidently it works pretty good from what I've heard.
Well, I didn't even really use the 90 at all.
Yeah. Though I have noticed a trend, if you get a new engine or a new car, because he has to add the code to that crossover piece to remove the collision, and he always forgets to do that, so he has to, the next patch after a new item comes out, then it fixes that, so just be aware of, you know.
I just find it funny that like he just didn't make it an object class. Like, hey, no collide on object class train.
I don't know, but I'm like, we got like the way car. The way cars would derail on a 90. The last thing we got was the snowplow, and the snowplow would hit in either one of those and just brick wall and stop. I'm like, you just think you could do that for everything? But then I wasn't overly worried because we didn't. I don't think we had any of those in the Urko save. No. So I'm like, no, it's all good.
Because I didn't want to use them for some weird reason. Yeah, but some people are really good at laying out crossovers and stuff. You know.
I mean,
I'm almost afraid to.
Yeah. I've used Clown's trick of using, you know, multiple ones to get, like, spacing done. I've done that before, but I always end up deleting them. But still, it's like, just never really had a need because I'm more of a... I mean...
Well, one thing that I do like here, and I'll show you, is I don't think you could do this before, but you could take a crossover piece, or really even the turnouts and stuff, but you can just snap it in the middle, even though the tracks are laid here now. So like, okay... Boom, and now I'm gonna start my parallel. That's gonna go this way. So like I don't have to delete my rails to start a parallel track, which is kind of nice. Like if I come back later and want to start a parallel track, all I'll have to do is do that and then delete the crossovers.
Okay.
And there you go. Like I don't think that was really a thing when we last played. It could have been, but I was so like stuck. Well, also when we played, it was foundation plus track, and so like
yes,
there really wasn't anything. You know, you just pre-lay everything out using the foundation. Once you get the foundation right, the track just went on top.
Yep. I will say that as I converted, because I did replace the ballot. I mean, I would lay the line within 1 degree of what we had before if I could do it, and then come back and delete the old stuff. Mm-hmm. And I will say it performs better because everyone's like, "Oh, the rails, the number of splines for the rails," but there was also splines for the ballast. Yeah. And as I deleted all of those, the game performed better.
Good.
So I think it was a combination of all this stuff. Whereas there was a lot of like, I did go back and I know you did a lot of like landscaping, like at the ironworks. You know, you laid ballast everywhere and covered up with like, you know, wood timbers, and yeah, I undid all that because literally like it got so laggy down there, and I undid all that, and also now it's just perfectly fine. I'm like, okay, that definitely confirms my suspicion about ballast and, you know, like the wood trestles and stuff causing issues too.
Well, like, I just didn't like using these things as, like, the crossovers and stuff as measurements on spacing or anything, because I felt like I was just, like, used to the old way to build. wonder if I can use this. Hold on. Ooh, that's interesting. Because something that I can't believe I have to do this dumb shape every time, but something that always bugged me about the original kind of cross-member thing to get parallel tracks was I could get them closer without using it. I think that's the main reason that I didn't do it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But now that we have the 45s, look, I can do this. So I did a 45. I did the 45 onto a 45, which gave me a right angle. Then I did like a loop of of 90-degree crossovers, and now I have essentially a half scooted over dual track. So I can get that spacing a little closer, which is what I want. Yeah, I'm 100% sure that's why I did that.
Yeah. Now I do know some of the hitbox on the engines are bigger now too, just FYI. So I don't know if that'll be an issue later on, but like the running boards on I don't know if this 70's been fully remodeled yet, but some of the engine's running boards and stuff now actually have collisions. So you can walk on them as you're going down the road. So some random stuff like that, but I mean, it should still be okay.
I mean, it should be because
shouldn't be wider than the ballast, ideally, but you know.
Yeah, and they're not like crazy close. I need to find the button to change my step on. You know what? Was it plus and minus for me? Is that what I changed it to?
Yeah, your grid button still isn't working. I don't know what that one is.
Options, controls. Holy hell, there's a lane left, lane right button. Edit numpad period. Okay. Guess it's my numpad period button. Which is what it says. It's just I didn't for some reason think that was
That's not normal. That's not the normal characters for it.
That's 100% what I had.
Yeah.
Had it set to, I think, on my end.
There, I see you doing it now. No, Roger. I think H is the in-game help menu, or was the annoying giant blob of text that comes up.
Why is my character not pivoting directly above my character anymore?
Are you leaning? Are you leaning somehow?
Oh, you know what? I could read that. Yep.
Yeah, I wish it would like not do that. It's like, what the?
Yeah, it just throws me through a loop. Oh crap! Betsy, no! Come back!
So a 5-second delay for your stream, so you told me on through Discord. I'm like, okay, that was coming.
God, she's on fire. Oh no! Or the particles upside down. Ugh. It's fine. We're good. We're
That's
good.
funny. So if you do a burnout in the climax, it literally makes a smoke screen on the map.
Did I get rid of the Betsy emote? Yep. Everyone voted. We have cats now. Congratulations. Just, just spam this. And no, that's not a cat. That's a possum. Oh. I think at this point, we need to think about how we're gonna... just connect from this side over, maybe. I find it hilarious that in this game I can clip through every train, but the freaking booth that I teleport to. Nope, can't clip through that.
Oh, yep.
It's made out of sturdier stuff. Alright, let's see. We got logs. And of course we got cordwood. Makes sense. We have more room that way than this way. Let's go over here. honestly, I still prefer Heist's music.
So yeah, I was just thinking. So of course, my family was big into Disney, and I feel like, for those who may or may not have known, but like there's Port Orleans was one of the resorts down there, and there's French Quarter, and then there's Riverside. The music literally reminds me of that resort because it's all Louisiana Bayou type things, and I'm sitting there going, "This sounds very Disney-like," is what it is, or something like Louisiana style, at least a little bit, because it's always playing in the background down there. So. Just needs a little jazz trumpet on it or something.
I'm trying to get some timings down for this migration so that I can stop scheduled jobs. If I come down this way. Towards the water, that could be cool. With this new spline system, I bet I could do something interesting, like just lay crossover pieces, kind of where I think things should go. Or just a segment of track randomly. Oh, Chad, how do we get down? Hey Santos, how's it going? Man, I do miss my U-shaped horseshoe bridge down here. What if I were to do that, but then go down the hillside at the same time, war? Well, let's get the loading, unloading rail stuff down. I don't really watch movies there, bud. Sorry. How's it going, dude?
I got home about when I expected to. What are you trying to set up now? The link to the camp?
Yeah, I'm just gonna be, yeah. Got to get the...
Now, the one thing I will say is that because the original placement had like weird angles and everything, every single industry has got a set angle of some kind. So they're all going to be like
set angle.
none of this like 120 point XXX angle. It's all going to be like a whole number angle.
There's a silent night here now.
Thanos, you having a stroke there, bud?
So, for example, the logging camp is set at a 45-degree angle. The world map, which may or may not help you with your chart placement. Also, your tracks actually need to be further away from the platform than you think for the crane. Otherwise, it just
Really?
looks weird. Yeah, it'll actually swing out a lot further than you think.
Okay.
Also, if you
So, did
didn't
you have
notice-
planned for like most of these to be shunting yards more so?
Oh God,
than
no! I
routes?
despise shunting. I absolutely
I love
despise
shunting.
shunting.
Why? It's like literally more than half.
I mean, okay, so the refinery, you're kind of forced to shunt. All right, it's in game, whatever. The ironworks, the way it's set up, you can just easily go straight through, but it's actually not as easy to do a turnaround loop at the ironworks. I set up ironworks with the intention that you enter from one side of the valley and you exit on the other side of the valley.
Okay.
That was the intention there. The iron mine, there is no chance in hell you're doing a turnaround. Not easily. But you can. You just have to come to the bottom of the mountain to do it. Unless you want the gaudy bridge. Coal mine I left alone. I didn't move it at all. So that'll be the normal. The smelter, there is room for turnaround, but you have to like go a distance away from the industry to get the room to do it. So there's probably shunting that's going to be done at smelter. Oil fields, you could do easy turnarounds. There's lots of room. The logging camp, you could do turnarounds at the south end, but not at the north. If that makes any sense.
Well, no, I know that from just kind of like looking at how much rooms really.
I
there.
also intentionally angled the logging camp to face the oil field to actually make it more difficult to come out the north end. My intention was to actually come out the south end and go up over the mountain. But if you want to go like the long way, then, or like the old school way, I guess, then, you know, whatever. The only way I could see that working would be exiting out the north and then putting in the Great Bridge. But I don't even think that's possible anymore.
I think it's possible, but no, I wouldn't go that way. I would try to get into the valley rather than try and span that gap and then go up around to where the old smelter was and then up and around.
Roger, there's the that's the website I use to manipulate all the industries. Railroad.studio. You just upload your map or upload a fresh map and you just change the XY coordinates for your up, down, left, right, and your Z axis for height. It takes some figuring out to like actually figure out what's what because the coordinate system that he uses makes no fucking sense at all. If you assume the map into 4 quadrants, it makes a bit more sense, but still not really. I guess I'll log in. You have login info somewhere? And what
No.
Steam server are you on?
The answer is no and no on that.
Why not?
Why? Because I'm doing this as a one-off for now. This isn't the official start of our thing. Because I'm just gonna be so busy here soon. I'm just trying to get just a feeling for the controls more so than trying to get started.
Based on how I have all the industries, which one do you think is going to be the most pain in the ass to set up?
I don't think any of them are like I was gonna do honestly way more shunting when we play again. And with shunting, it's not a pain because you have a yard and you have your wagons and a shunter. You just fill up those, park them to be picked up, and then someone comes by and picks them up. You know, like it's kind of like. And you said you wanted to have mixed trains, so like having a loop doesn't really make sense. You would have like an outbound yard of like 3 or 4 wagons in there and you would pull up.
It depends on the industry.
I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible to think of a way of what's the exact train, but that's just not how rail operations generally happen in real life. It's usually, hey, we got these 4 wagons here. Can you move them somewhere else? And it's like, oh yeah, sure.
There's definitely going to be some long haul routes, like just going oil field or like ironworks to oil field is, you know, one corner of the map to the far other corner of the map.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'd have to go all the way back down to the refinery, which is back where the logging camp used to sit. And then from there to like sell your oil barrels, you got to go all the way up to the north and then all the way down through the valley just to get to the freight depot. That's a long haul to be going to sell oil barrels. But, you know, while you're going there, you could potentially stop off at the sawmill, grab a whole bunch of lumber and beams, and drop it off at, say, the smelter, or cordwood, and drop it off at the smelter on your way down. Or if you're coming up from ironworks, or from smelter to ironworks, you can come, or coal mine to smelter, whatever. You come up, you stop off at the sawmill, grab some extra stuff, and bring it down south with you. Especially for, like, say, the iron mine, because it's way down at the south. That iron mine, like, I planted that thing deep into the mountainside. So you only see, like, a tiny little bit of the building.
Not gonna lie, the telephone booth just makes me feel like I'm playing Hell Let Loose or something. I was like, oh, a squad spawning nearby. Take out that forward base. Question is, am I gonna clip here at all? I don't think so.
Tight bit.
I don't think
know if
that's
you're-
a collision. I don't think that porch is a collidable object like some things are. It's like I'm just phasing all the way through it, so I think it's fine.
I would almost do your switch tracks beyond the buildings instead of beside it.
Could.
You have the room for it on the south,
Oh, yeah,
and that way you can keep it straight.
I just want to get this done. Morse code is an Easter egg. Oh yeah.
I did
Does it
spend a
actually say
fair amount
something?
of time though, like adjusting the Z-axis to try and get the industries to actually look like they're clipped into the ground properly.
Appreciate the
Uh,
effort.
There is a couple of spots where I tried, I just couldn't do it, but I did what I could to hide it as best I could. I've seen other guys who had like relocated the industries and then they literally just kind of like, all right, it's relocated, don't care what it looks like.
So for the guys in the chat, yeah, so it is Morse code. The first message was order 1 Mason bogey, but then he changed it in one of the last patches. So I don't know what the new one says, but I don't. It wasn't supposed to be order 1 Mason bogey. There was an oopsie there that I heard. So
I think it'd be cool to have a gravel car at some point. I mean, they said eventually there's going to be a wagon to actually build the tracks, right? Maybe? Like, that's like something they want to do.
but that was back when Heist and the guys were involved because they wanted full maintenance away cars.
That's what
all that
Kitsune
stuff.
was saying, though. It wasn't
Yeah.
just Heist and them.
Yeah, but I mean, I wonder if how much of that has changed now with Astragon
Yeah,
in there.
Yeah, don't know.
I don't think cattle cars were ever on the original list either. So I think a few things have changed for sure.
Maybe they'll give us a passenger car next week.
And whether it's a passenger car or a cattle car, we still don't have the the ability to support it yet. But we do have that new section of map they've created, but not put anything there.
I mean, a passenger car would make more sense for them to add next week than a cattle car.
Yeah. A passenger car you could actually sit in would be really nice.
Alright, for now, we're just gonna do... this, I think, chat.
No, I mean I've been using the way cars. I got 2 way cars marked up with Urco MOW on the side of them for the work train that I've been using to move around the map and the other map or the other save.
Do 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 do. Let's do that. I mean, how long is it going to be on this map until we make any sort of real profit from the freight depot?
Well, you'll make early profit from just dropping stuff off at industries.
Yeah, yeah. But like, in the previous version, right? You could just make more money by just taking something to the freight depot than where it was supposed to go, and so.
True.
It depends on what it was.
Logs. Not logs, but like
Cordwood.
beams and
Cord-
cordwood, essentially.
Or
Yeah.
no, cordwood. Straight up
Or-
cordwood was the most profitable early.
Yeah, cordwood was the way to do it. Everything else he changed a little bit and made it to where it was, beams paid the same anywhere you took it, pretty much. So that stuff got evened out during one of the economy updates he did.
Well, that's true, but like, if you're already hooked up to the freight depot, right? You
Yeah,
can just make
exactly.
money that way.
Which in our case here probably won't be a option for a bit.
I mean, realistically, it's not that hard to hook up the freight depot. Like you're basically just running the old coal line, but instead of going up the mountain, you stay at ground level.
Oh, it's at the bottom of the mountain?
Yep.
Interesting.
I wanted
Okay.
separation. I wanted separation from the coal mine because I didn't. I
Wait,
left
the coal
mine.
mine's still up there?
That was
Okay.
the only industry I didn't mess with. 'Cause I felt that it was already pretty much good enough as it was. There's enough room up there to do whatever you want, shunting or even a turnaround. And honestly, it's already a challenging industry to get to begin with, so I didn't really want to mess with it. And the fact that it took 3 hours to position the Iron Man, I didn't feel like doing that to another one. Although if I were to move the coal mine, I'd probably put it in Death Valley. And that right there would be like mandatory shunting. There'd be no way around it. You'd have to use the smelter area as your yard and then shunt up Death Valley.
Can every train make this 30-degree turn or no?
I don't think the bigger ones can.
They can if you go slow. I mean, at some point we're going to get the articulated in there, and then it won't have much of a problem. But it'll, But I don't think there is at least at this point, anything we've got. As long as you go slow, it'll keep doing because it'll pop the front trucks up because the trucks are hunting anyway. He hasn't fixed that bug, and if it's really funny, you put a 280 on the turntable, the front truck just hunts left and right constantly because it's trying to figure out where it doesn't understand what's on the turntable, so it's looking for the actual rails in front and behind the turntable still.
I mean, my intention with the logging camp was to use either the Shea or the Climax, primarily, because I was going to do the mountain pass to go down. I wasn't really intended on going kind of where the smelter
Well,
area
welcome to every dev's reality check, okay? I wasn't intending for that. Yes, I agree. You weren't, but this is what we're gonna do.
Is it possible to do that? Maybe. Well, then there's a possibility, so we're gonna try it.
I mean, at least with where if you leave out the north end, you can start hugging the mountainside right away. You could potentially use that horseshoe going down. But then that would take you right to the old smelter location, and if you're looking to hook up back to the old main line, then you'd want to stay somewhat level.
I mean, if I want to be efficient. You said efficiency is Uthris' strongest suit, you know? Nothing satisfactory.
I don't think we're gonna. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think. To me, they tease that articulated, and the last I had heard, they had the 2D art for it done. Like it had not even been 3D model anything, and that was a while back. So, like, and that thing is a monster with detail. So I just don't know, unless he's found a whole bunch of people. I don't think. To me personally, I think that's a long-term tease to keep people interested. Because they were like, yeah, we're gonna drop a lot of stuff from the tech tree, and everyone's like, no, we want a big boy, and like, well, that's the closest thing to a big boy you can get is that guy. So to me, I feel that's more of it's a long-term, like, hey, it's on the roadmap, it's coming, and tease it like that.
Ooh. Boy, that's a cliff. Expect that. If we were to come down the slope instead.
Yep, correct, Roger, on that one. I will say, Uthris, that with the new Heisler model they're using, it has a fatter butt than it did before. Because I did find on some of the route from or to the iron ore mine on almost up to where the big loop or the circle, helix was. I had to move the tracks away from the mountain a little bit because in some places it would knock the Heisler off the track because it was just too close because the model's is too big now.
Yeah, so basically what that means is we just got to make sure that, for example, if we're using the stone foundation track, the railing of the stone is actually more important than the ballast.
Yep. Yeah, that's one of those gotchas that, you wouldn't think it changed, but they changed the model and like, oh yeah, because, just reasons, but...
Alright, let's see if this works, chat. Straight out there.
I just hope whatever they release has got some good whistles on it. I was listening to Heist. He went down to the Durango and Surbiton's charter they did with their K-27s and stuff, and the whistles. I'm like, oh, we need those in the game. That's what it's supposed to sound like. So I really hope they have some, whatever they add, it's got some good whistles on it versus the Hooters they're using now.
The Hooters.
They are.
That's a restaurant.
Like that one that there was a K-27 they were running, had a Lukenheimer 3 chime on it, and that thing sounded awesome. Almost as good as Cass, but then again, Cass is standard gauge, but still, the Cass engines run a lot of those specialty whistles that just sound awesome. And it just echoes everywhere.
So how sharp is this corner? We switch to good old wall. Sure. Ba, 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 da, ba, da, ba, da, ba, ba. All right, let's see how this angle shakes out. Probably gonna be a pretty sharp turn here. Track is being a little weird here. Fireproof red. Yeah, I think the issue is this track here. Little piece. Not quite right. Let's get us a wall piece on the front. I'm gonna try and relaying these bridge pieces real quick. Actually, there's already a piece here. I'll try this in a single go. Just left to right.
Why is your stream audio so quiet?
Like my in-game audio or me?
Your voice audio coming through on the stream, it sounds quiet.
I don't know, like, it's literally nothing's changed.
Got everything maxed out. I got my volume turned up.
How's it going, Joe?
It still seems quiet. Almost like a, like you're like far away from your mic.
Well, I'm not. Like, does Discord sound normal?
Yeah, Discord's fine.
Yeah, like Discord sounds good for me, but like Silent's saying, if I listen to your audio on the stream, you sound muffled, farther away.
I don't know, Chad will have to confirm, because, like, I mean, it might have to do with the fact that my my microphone broke, right? That other stream.
Yeah, but you'd think Discord and they would be the same, same level though.
No, well, no, I mean, they're different applications that I'm recording through.
That is true, yeah.
Could just be how you have OBS set up for capture.
Well, yeah.
It's not capturing at full volume or something.
I mean, I'm not capturing at full volume in OBS, but I've also never captured at full volume for OBS.
General, did you download the map to poke around on?
I have not yet. It's been a crazy day.
Okay, this is gonna sound weird, stream, but I gotta listen. Okay, well, YouTube freaking thing broke too. Awesome.
You going with kind of a long-winded route to keep your grade shallow?
All right, here we go. Let's see what I sound like.
Are you looking at
This is
like
gonna sound weird,
2%
stream, but I
the
gotta listen.
whole way, or
Testing 1 2. Okay, well, YouTube freaking thing broke too. Awesome.
you going with kind of a long-winded route to keep your grade shallow?
I agree my stream is a little on the quiet side, but like my mic sounds normal. I just listened to it on stream.
I didn't know that I have my desktop speakers turned up like significantly more than I do for any other stream.
See ya, Joe. You have a good one.
I think the one thing I like about the new spline system is so much easier to link two segments together.
It is, but boy, mine acting a little funky right now?
Turn off circle mode and it should just click.
No. Like, well, that works decently well, but sometimes not the best. But like, I'm noticing that like so I'm like, hey, 10% grade. It's like, okay, cool, 10% grade. And then as soon as I go off straight, it's like 30% grade. I'm like, oh, please keep the 10% grade. It's like, nah. Like the grade is just a little weird. It's not kind of behaving.
Don't forget your color again. Sorry, stream delay.
Tell me what to do.
Considering the stream delay is like 2 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Okay.
That's like 5 to 10 seconds for me.
At this point, I just need a new computer. But with the house, that's not gonna happen. Uthris is about to burn through 40 grand.
Easy come, easy go.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but I mean, at least what you're getting is a worthwhile investment.
It is that.
So long as I have a job.
Yeah, but you work remote, right?
Yes, I do work remote.
So you're good.
I mean, to an extent. I mean, you always got to keep them back in the mind. Right now, we're going through a tech industry like, you know, yeah, all the major like IT companies for doing like what him and I do are laying off. So,
Well, generally, you know you're relatively safe, huh? For now.
Ouch.
I mean, for the most part, yeah. I mean, they're gonna have to cut a lot of people, but still, my customer doesn't like renew their contract for in the next year and a half to 2 years. Then there's always that. Because I'm dedicated to a single customer versus the 30 I used to have before in a pool.
Wow, you used to have pool parties?
IBM used to do this. They give you 30 clients, and you had a team of like 20 people, and if you couldn't figure out how to work something, you hand it to the next guy up the chain, and then that kind of stuff. So, then in 2015, I went dedicated to an account and have been there ever since.
Less stressful, more pay?
No, actually the other way. I mean, actually, really, my customer was great until COVID hit. And then when they laid off on their side, and then all the crap, because they're in the medical field, yeah, it's just been constant turmoil. I love what I do. It's just that there are some weeks like today, I'm like, is it 5 o'clock yet? Because I could have sworn it was 3 hours ago.
Yeah, that kind of felt like today. Lunchtime rolls around, I was like, is it 4:30 yet?
I had a couple customer calls like, oh, we want you guys to do this. We want you to spend all this money to give us something that you're going to lose money on in the end. I'm like, that doesn't work that way, guys.
Sure about that?
I mean, I got to at least make a little bit of something. Yeah, that's the thing.
You wouldn't mind finding a remote job? Remote jobs are fine, you know. I mean, I kind of miss being in the office, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, if you had, like, I used to have people I work with all the time, but now that I'm on the dedicated account, there is nobody around me that does the same stuff. So not that big a deal, but also our office was a giant cube farm, and the cube's only going halfway up. So, like, anybody talking to anybody, you had to have, like, even with the white noise generators running, you needed earbuds in because you couldn't concentrate.
Huh. I mean, I was in a decent, just like cubicle after cubicle kind of setup, and it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, this was 800 cubes in one floor. Minor dull roar. And then with a 90-minute drive each way, I found myself I'm able to work more.
The
and
drive
concentrate
is the bad thing.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm not going to be able to get one route done in time for the stream because I'm going to go for work. How long it can take to lay out a track.
A hell of a roller coaster you're making.
It's a 5-degree incline.
Yeah, that'll be a challenge for Betsy.
Even just like one. Well, I do also have it on realistic, so yeah.
Yeah, Betsy at 3% can do a max of like 2 or 3 cars most.
Yep.
That'll be Climax, Shea, and Heisler territory.
Hey, you know, Silent put it up here. I'm just trying to get it off of here.
Yep.
Just trying to figure out an interesting way to do so. Like, I kind of don't like what I'm doing.
Too bad you can't just like roll the log down the mountainside itself.
I'm sure in some places they tried that, you know.
I mean, they had log plumes. They would roll them down to the river and just float it down to the mill.
Why don't you just borrow the zip line from Sons of the Forest?
True. Alright. Well, tell you what, chat. I actually have to go.
That's the game that's got some interesting hacks you can do to it.
True.
So watching Lumberjack and the zip line the logs down, and oh look, the lake froze. Let's build a house in the lake, and then it magically grows stilts once the ice melts. Good grief!
It's gotta be supported somehow, man.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm gonna have to go. So yay work, but oh well. I think I like what you're doing, Silent. Like from all the industry locations that we did see. So I'm excited to hop into it. I probably won't hop into it until after the call update, just so like there's even more new things. But
Why don't you do a quick teleport around the map and show stream where everything's
I
been
did at the start.
relocated? Oh.
Yeah, so like, you know, we teleported everywhere. I didn't do like a crazy look at it. Now I noticed that you don't actually have a teleport booth at the actual coal mine.
Oh no, because I never went up there. I had no intention of moving it. And it's not that far from the freight yard.
This is the refinery, right? Yeah. Oh, I like the low-lying bridge for loading zones. It's kind of nice. I'm assuming you put that there.
Yeah, any prelay track is what I put there.
Okay, well, I'm gonna head off. You guys have a good one. I don't know. Maybe we can play what am I doing tomorrow? Oh, I had to do testing tomorrow for the migration. And then Friday, I'm playing WoW literally all day. God help me.
But it is Friday.
I meant Sunday. Sunday I'm playing WoW. I think I'm gonna be playing Modern with some people Silent, so we might need a tank. Just an FYI. Wait, I'm a tank.
I can bring my mage.
My brother's on his mage.
So, more than one mage.
True. Anyways, I'll keep it posted.
Or
Alright guys,
I
you have a
could
good one.
attempt to play Ret.
Y'all have a good night.
Let
Talk
you
to you guys
take.
soon.